Most animals kill for predictable reasons. Hunger, protection, competition, these are the rules that shape the natural world. Predators hunt because they must survive. Herbivores fight because they must defend themselves. Every bite of food, every territorial battle, every deadly encounter appears to follow a brutal but logical system. But nature is not always simple. Across forests, oceans, rivers, mountains, and even inside human homes, researchers have documented behaviors that challenge our understanding of animal violence. Predators that attack beyond immediate necessity, hunters that appear to toy with prey, species whose aggression seems unusually persistent, unusually deliberate, and to human observers, disturbingly excessive. Does this mean some animals actually enjoy killing? Or are humans misunderstanding behaviors shaped by evolution? Instinct, intelligence, and survival? To answer that question, we must examine some of nature's most controversial killers. Chimpanzees, violence among our closest relatives. Few animals unsettle humans more than chimpanzees, not because they are the largest predators, not because they possess venom, armor, or massive claws, but because they are remarkably similar to us. Chimpanzees share much of their DNA with humans. They build social alliances, display emotional intelligence, use tools, and navigate complex group hierarchies. They are capable of affection, cooperation, curiosity, and extraordinary violence. In the wild, chimpanzee communities organize around territory, dominance, and social structure. Researchers studying chimpanzees have observed organized patrol behavior among groups of males. These patrols often move quietly through territorial boundaries, searching for rivals. When isolated individuals from neighboring groups are found, attacks can be sudden and overwhelming. Scientists generally interpret these behaviors through evolutionary pressures, competition for territory, mating opportunities, resources, and group security. Yet observers have often noted how coordinated these encounters appear. The silence, the cooperation, the targeted aggression. Some primatologists have even compared aspects of chimpanzee conflict to primitive warfare. These comparisons remain scientifically debated, but they reveal something important. Violence in intelligent social animals can become highly organized. Killing is not always chaotic. Sometimes it is strategic. And intelligence changes how we perceive brutality. Because the more an animal resembles us, the harder it becomes to separate instinct from intention. Dolphins occupy a unique place in human culture. They are symbols of intelligence, playfulness, and friendliness. Movies portray them as helpers. Tourist industries market them as gentle companions of the sea. But wild dolphins tell a more complicated story. Dolphins are sophisticated predators. They hunt cooperatively, communicate through advanced vocal systems, demonstrate problem-solving ability, and maintain complex social relationships. Yet marine researchers have also documented behaviors that complicate the cheerful public image. Aggressive encounters, social conflict, violence directed toward animals not intended as food. Scientists continue debating the motivations behind such behavior. Possible explanations include redirected aggression, social development, hunting practice, competition, and instinctive behavioral patterns. The key point is not that dolphins are evil. Nature does not operate on human morality. The disturbing reality is simpler. Intelligence does not automatically produce gentleness. In fact, intelligence can increase behavioral complexity. And once behavior becomes complex, human observers begin asking uncomfortable questions. When an animal attacks beyond obvious necessity, what exactly are we witnessing? Orcas, predators of the deep. If dolphins challenge human assumptions, orcas intensify them. Orcas are among the ocean's most effective hunters. Powerful, social, highly intelligent. Entire hunting traditions can be passed through generations. Different populations use different strategies. Some cooperate to isolate prey. Some generate waves to dislodge animals from ice. Others adapt techniques specific to local environments. This flexibility is one reason scientists often describe orcas as culturally complex animals. But certain observed hunting behaviors have attracted enormous public attention. Witnesses have described prey being struck, released, pursued again, and manipulated during encounters. To humans, these scenes can resemble play, but interpretation is difficult. Animal behavior rarely fits cleanly into human emotional categories. What appears cruel to an observer may represent skill development, learning behavior, coordination training, or predator strategy. Still, watching a highly intelligent predator exert prolonged control over prey produces an undeniable psychological effect. Unease, because intelligence changes how humans emotionally process violence. The question is not whether orcas are malicious. There is no evidence for that. The question is why certain behaviors look disturbingly familiar to human observers, and why intelligence repeatedly forces us to reconsider simplistic explanations of killing in nature. Hyenas, survival without sentiment. Few animals suffer from a worse reputation than hyenas. Popular culture transformed them into symbols of scavenging chaos. Laughing opportunists, cowardly thieves. The reality is considerably different. Hyenas are highly effective predators, socially intelligent, strategically cooperative, exceptionally resilient. Living in competitive ecosystems means constant pressure. Food is contested. Territory is contested. Status is contested. Violence becomes inseparable from survival. Hyena clans operate within strict social hierarchies, where dominance matters profoundly. Aggression shapes access to resources and reproductive success. To human observers, this world can appear relentless, but harshness alone does not imply enjoyment. This distinction matters. A predator surviving inside scarcity may display extreme violence without any emotional satisfaction attached to it. The natural world does not require pleasure to produce brutality. Sometimes adaptation is enough, and evolution rarely rewards softness when resources are limited. Datas. Crocodiles, ancient killing machines. Long before humans built cities, crocodiles were already masters of ambush. They represent one of nature's most enduring predator designs. Minimal movement, explosive power, extraordinary patience. Crocodiles do not rely on emotional intimidation. They rely on timing. A still river surface may appear calm, but beneath that calm lies an animal engineered. Through millions of years of evolutionary refinement, their hunting strategy is brutally efficient. Wait, remain invisible, strike at precisely the right moment, drag prey into water, conserve energy. Unlike predators that actively chase across landscapes, crocodiles specialize in calculated ambush, and that calculation contributes to their terrifying reputation. Humans often interpret patient predation as coldness, mechanical precision, almost emotionless violence, but crocodiles remind us that killing in nature does not require rage, hatred, or enjoyment. Sometimes lethal efficiency alone is enough to unsettle us, because efficiency strips violence down to its most fundamental form. Honey badgers, aggression without fear. Small body, enormous reputation. Few animals demonstrate disproportionate aggression more famously than the honey badger. Native to parts of Africa and Asia, the honey badger has become almost legendary for its fearlessness. Reports describe confrontations with snakes, predators, and dangerous prey. Its resilience, thick skin, and defensive behavior contribute to a public image of unstoppable hostility. But reputation can sometimes overshadow biological reality. Honey badgers are not mindless warriors. Their aggression is shaped by survival strategy. They occupy environments where adaptability matters. Boldness can be useful. Persistence can be useful. Fearlessness can become advantageous. Yet, from a human perspective, relentless aggression often appears deeply personal. We project attitude onto behavior, defiance onto instinct, emotion onto adaptation. This tendency reveals as much about human psychology as it does about animal behavior. Datas. Grizzly bears, power and uncertainty. Few land animals inspire fear as immediately as grizzly bears. Immense size, extraordinary strength, explosive defensive capability. Unlike specialized predators, bears possess dietary flexibility. They consume plants, fish, insects, carrion, and animal protein. This versatility shapes their ecological role, but it also complicates public understanding. Human encounters with bears often produce strong emotional reactions precisely because bear behavior can appear unpredictable. A defensive encounter can escalate rapidly. A territorial reaction can become lethal. To humans, unpredictability magnifies fear, and fear changes perception. When observers witness overwhelming force from a powerful animal, it becomes tempting to frame the encounter through emotional language, rage, hatred, savagery. But biological explanations usually point elsewhere. Defense, competition, resource protection, instinctive survival responses. Nature rarely requires emotional motives to create terrifying outcomes. Datas. House cats, the unexpected killers. Perhaps the most surprising animal on this list is one that lives alongside humans every day. The domestic cat, soft paws, quiet purring, household companion. Yet biologically, domestic cats remain predators, highly efficient ones. Researchers studying free-ranging and outdoor cats have documented enormous predatory impact on birds. rodents, reptiles, and small animals. Many cats hunt even when food is readily available from humans. This behavior often fascinates owners. Why hunt without hunger? Scientific explanations include instinctive prey drive, behavioral enrichment, skill maintenance, and deeply rooted evolutionary programming. But to humans, the image is unsettling. A well-fed animal still pursuing prey, a reminder that domestication does not erase millions of years of predatory biology. The predator survives beneath familiarity. And perhaps that is what makes cats such an effective example in this discussion. They demonstrate how easily humans confuse comfort with harmlessness. Do animals enjoy killing? This question continues to provoke debate. The honest answer is complex. Scientists generally avoid assigning human, emotional experiences to animal behavior without strong evidence. Terms like enjoyment, sadism, or malice carry psychological meanings rooted in human cognition. Applying them carelessly risks misunderstanding animal biology. Yet the discomfort behind the question remains understandable. Humans observe behaviors that appear excessive, persistent aggression, manipulated prey, violence beyond immediate feeding, and we search for explanations. The truth may be less dramatic and more challenging. Nature does not need morality to produce brutality. It does not need cruelty to produce suffering. Evolution, intelligence, competition, instinct, learning, and adaptation are often sufficient. The natural world is not organized around human emotional categories. It is organized around survival. Sometimes survival produces behaviors that look disturbingly familiar. Sometimes intelligence blurs lines we wish were clear. And sometimes the animals that unsettle us most simply reveal uncomfortable truths about life itself. The natural world is neither purely beautiful nor purely cruel. It is complex, violent, adaptive, unsentimental. The animals examined in this documentary do not fit neatly into human ideas of good and evil. They are products of environments shaped by pressure, scarcity, intelligence, instinct, and evolution. But their behavior forces an important realization. Killing in nature is not always simple, and the deeper we study animal behavior, the more complicated our assumptions become. Perhaps the real mystery is not whether animals enjoy killing. Perhaps the deeper question is why humans need violence to make emotional sense. Because nature never promised comfort, only survival.